All right, boys and girls, today we are starting Unit 2, Week 5, and it is called Making It Happen. So if you look at our picture here, you can see two young dancers. And our essential question is, what motivates you to accomplish a goal? So a lot of time you have ambitious people who are really motivated by a strong wish to be successful or to just accomplish a goal that they have. And you can tell by the look on these two young people's face that they have gained some really good satisfaction from being able to work hard and accomplish this goal. I don't know what you think, but that move that they are making looks pretty difficult to me and probably took a lot of practice. So those ambitious dancers have a strong desire to be great. They practice and they work hard to become the best dancers that they can be. Now, this satisfaction or feeling of accomplishment that they get from their hard work definitely is very internal for them, but you can tell just by looking at their faces that they have some external satisfaction as well. The young man has a smile on his face, and they just look like they are very happy with being able to accomplish their goal. Accomplishing a goal takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and in order to accomplish that, you have to be really motivated to achieve the goal that you are working towards. So when you set a goal for yourself, what is something that has made you or helped you to accomplish that goal? So I want you to take out your 5-subject notebook, and in the reading section, so that very first section when you open the flap, I want you to answer the question, what is an ambitious goal that you have had? And what motivated you to accomplish that? So your ambitious goal could have been, for example, my ambitious goal was to graduate college in 4 years. And what motivated me was wanting to not spend a lot of time in college and to get out and start my career of teaching young people like you guys. So that was my ambitious goal and my motivation. And then whenever I finished, I was really satisfied because I had become the first person in my family to graduate from college in 4 years, which was a really big accomplishment. So I want you to write now, pause the video, what is an ambitious goal that you have had and what motivated you to accomplish it? So go ahead and pause that, and when you get finished, you're going to want to turn to the vocabulary section, because now we're going to talk about our words to know this week. Now, you'll notice that there are only 4 words listed on this slide. We are working with some poetry this week, so we're going to have some different poetry terms to go along with this here in just a few minutes. So our first word is ambitious, and remember you need to be writing these in the vocabulary section of your notebook. So an ambitious person, if you are ambitious, you have a strong desire to succeed at something. So for example, Paulo is an ambitious bike rider and always looks for challenges. He is definitely looking like he's working towards a big challenge in this picture, going up that really steep hill on his bicycle. So what do you know that you would describe, or who do you know that you would describe as ambitious? So in your notebook, I want you to write the definition. If you are ambitious, you have a strong desire to succeed at something. And then answer the question, who do you know that you would describe as ambitious? Our next word is memorized. If you memorized something, you learned it by heart. So for example, a poem or your multiplication facts. So in this picture, Pat memorized the poem and then recited it perfectly for her class. I'm assuming that took a lot of hard work, right? So in your notebook, I want you to write the definition. If you memorized something, you learned it by heart. And then I want you to answer, what is the name of a poem or a song that you memorized? Write those in your notebook now. Our next word is satisfaction. Satisfaction is feeling pleased when you accomplish something. So participating in sports such as basketball gave Jason great satisfaction. So on that last section, when you were writing about an ambitious goal that you had, think about the satisfaction that you had whenever you accomplished that goal that you were working towards. So in your notebook, satisfaction is feeling pleased when you accomplish something. And then I want you to answer, what activity gives you great satisfaction? For example, my activity would be going out and running gives me great satisfaction, which I can't wait to do. And our last word in this is the word shuddered. If you shuddered, you shook or trembled from fear or cold. Now, looking at this picture, Jill shuddered as she bit into the tart, juicy lemon. I'm not sure that she was afraid or cold, but that was just kind of a reaction that she had whenever her taste buds got that tart lemon taste in their mouth. So, shuddered. If you shuddered, you shook or trembled from fear or cold. And I want you to think about what would be a synonym for shuddered. Hint, look back at your definition. Write that in your notebook now. All right, so here are our poetry terms that we are going to be working with this week. We have two types of poems that we are going to be reading this week. The first one is a narrative. So in your notebook, you need to write the word narrative. And then follow along with these bullet points. A narrative poetry tells a story, has characters and dialogue, and it can sometimes rhyme, but it doesn't always have to rhyme. So write that in your notebook. The next one is free verse. And free verse is just that. It's very free. It shares your ideas and your feelings, and there's no set rhyming pattern or a rhythm. And there's no set line length. So a free verse can sometimes look like a story instead of like a poem. So free verse looks a little bit different than narrative, but they both have that poetry to them. And our other two words that go along with poetry are repetition and rhyme. So poets may use repetition, which is, this is what you're going to write in your notebook, the repeated use of words, sounds, or phrases. So repetition is the repeated use of words, sounds, or phrases for an effect. So repeating a word or a phrase or sentence sometimes really helps to emphasize the meaning of what they are trying to get across, what that poet is trying to get through to you. And rhyme is simply the repetition of the same vowel sound. And you guys have been learning about rhyme since you were in kindergarten, such as pat and hat. Those are rhyming words, that same vowel sound that repeats and rhymes. So I want you to write those in your notebook as well. And once you have finished all of that, then you are going to need to get out and go into the 2.5 vocabulary practice and practice getting those vocabulary words written down and putting those into sentences to make sure that you understand the meaning of all of those words.